Hi crafters, Merry Christmas, as we like to say. I thought I'd do a winter scene box card. These are not ones I've done myself. I've downloaded them from a website. It's called The Craft Shop, very good website. And I thought we'd use them, and what we're going to do is make a couple of frames with them. So first of all, I'll show you this one, the deer. What I want to do is duplicate it and flip it so there's one going the other way and a little bit smaller, so it looks like a male and female deer. Now, I just want to make sure that I've got them at the right. Okay, because this will be the trees. They're going to be behind the trees, hiding. So there, we have a smaller deer coming together. Now, we need to make a frame, so I'll get a rectangle. I'm going to go with 8 inches at the minute, and I'm going to flip it round. Actually, let's do it like this. 90 degrees on the angle. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I had a feeling I'd have to do it a little bit bigger. So what's that? So let's go 6. I'm doing it by hand. Okay, so then while I've got that selected, we're going to go offset, and I want it at 28 because I want quite a thick frame. And then I want beveled corners. I don't want them to be rounded. We're going to leave it as it is because we still want that one. And we're going to go inward. So we're going to do it on the inside. So you do OK, and then select both and remove overlap. What that does, it takes out, you see it's darker on the inside, it's because you're removing that part, but it's leaving the frame. So there's nothing inside. So you can't click on anything there, but you can click on it there. So then what we're going to do is weld the deer to the frame. Now I want them a bit higher up. We need to weld their legs really, don't we? Let's have a look what that will look like. I'm just going to check with the aperture one. I need to bring it forward. That they sit in there quite nicely. Yeah, they do. Okay. Now I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get rid of all this so that I can concentrate on this one. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So what we're going to do is select all and weld, which is this one here. There we go. You don't need to colour them. I coloured them so that you could just see. This one is also, it's a download from the same, it's one single download that makes its own card if you wanted to, but I separated it. I had to do quite a lot of work on this so that I could weld it to a frame. So we're going to do the same thing. What I should have done is duplicated it. Let's do it by that because it does it accurately. Okay, maintain aspect ratio means keep the width consistent with the height. If you click it off, you can change either the same way. So we'll do it, I think it was 8 by 6 we done it. Let's just check that's going to be alright. Yep. And again, we're going to offset. Now, everything's there the same. So there we go. And I'm just going to, I just want to remove that a minute. Remove overlap. Again, you can see it's darker, so we're going to delete that. And then we're going to put the trees back. I'm just going to use the arrows because I need to turn it tiny, tiny bits. There we go. So again, select all and weld. And there we go. So they're the two main parts. What we need to do now is add the bits that we can stick it onto the side of the tunnel card. So we need a smaller rectangle, and I haven't got the maintain aspect ratio, so we'll do that. Let's do it at 1 inch, and we know that is 8 inches. So what we need to do is make sure it goes over slightly. And then we're going to make sure that they're exactly on the same level. So to the bottom I've done. Now before we weld, we know we're going to need a score line there. So you want to click on the path tool. Okay, click, hold shift, come down and click twice. And then up here you want to choose the dash pattern. I always choose the one that's got space in between. I find the other ones are a bit too close to, sometimes it makes the card split. Okay, so we want to duplicate that. We're going to need it over there as well. And do the same over here. Again, make sure it's level. And then click at the top, hold the shift, and double click at the bottom. Far apart dashes, and then if you click off, I've copied everything, you pick all three. You don't want the dash line, so you can't sort of sweep across. You need to hold the shift and pick all three and weld. And there you go. Okay, so now we can sweep across and group it. So that's your tree. Now this we want another layer duplicate. And again we're going to do the same thing. We want it just going over. What we'll do, make sure it's all level. There we go. And now you could duplicate the score lines again, but it's just as easy to just do them. Like this. And then click off and weld, and then select all and group. So there's your two main layers. So the next thing we need to do is the actual box. So I'm going to get another rectangle, and this one I want let's see, we've got 8 by 6, so 8 by 8 we want. So I'm going to put maintain aspect ratio on because it's going to be, oh no, that's silly. We want 8 by 8. So what we want to do is a 2-inch line for, let's just do it like this. So first of all, let's move these out the way. And what I'm going to do is use the squares on the grid. So we know the 2 inches is there. Okay. So again, path tool on the 2-inch line, come down and double click. And we want that dash line. You choose the dash line you like. I just prefer this because sometimes the dashes that are closer together actually make the card break, and I don't like that. Okay, so we've got that, and now we're going to duplicate. That gives us, we're going to group that one, that gives us the back. But at the front we need an aperture. So I'm going to get another rectangle, and we want it 4 inches across and 6 inches down. 4 by 6. And again, we're going to use the squares to place it. There, I think that's okay. And what we're going to do now is just hold the shift. So we've got both shapes. We don't want the score line again. And we're going to remove overlap. Click off, and you see the line's darker, so you know it's done it. And we can delete that. That way we have now got a frame, and we've got the back, we've got the two main parts of it that we wanted. So that is almost, we just need a sentiment. Now for the sentiment, I was thinking rather than boring old Merry Christmas, oh, do you know what? Okay, don't forget that once you've done that, you need to layer and group. Okay, so we'll put all this over here because now we want to do the sentiment. Now I want to do a little different. I think I like that one. And that one. So let's come down. This one we want very narrowed, and we're going to put one each side. Okay. No, because we want to center them. So what we're going to do is center through the middle like that. So they're all in the middle. This one needs to come out a little bit because it's further in. I think that's about right. So then we're going to weld that. So now we've got like a little shape. get another ellipse. So this one is 394. So if I do it at maintain aspect ratio and do it at 375, that's a quarter smaller. I think that should be about right. Oh. There we go, that's it. So now I'm going to choose this one again, and what I'm going to do is offset it. I want it 08 outward, and we need it rounded. Leave it as it is. There we go. Just so that we've got a mat to put it on. So now we need words inside this. Now it's up to you if you just want to put a nice sentiment or draw it on, cut it out so there's a different colour underneath. There's so many different ways of doing it. So for now, if we just put, I kind of like just Christmas wishes. Actually, that should be a capital, really. There we go, Christmas wishes. What do you think? I want it in quite a nice font. Okay, so let's see if we can find a nice, just easy font. Actually, I quite like that. That's one of their own. So it's still simple enough to read. If you go over here, it's character spacing, and what you can do, if you minus it, it brings it all a bit closer together. You'll see it working slowly. I'm not sure how close I have to do it. Normally a sort of 4 or 5. But it depends on the font. Okay, I think one more. Okay, that's going to bring some of it together, not all of it. So we'll weld it. And if we bring it down here, so we can see it a bit clearer. If you divide, it does divide the separate letters, but what you want to do, if we concentrate on this one first, we're going to just use the arrow keys so we don't move the letters up or down slightly with the mouse. And we're just going to come across until we know they've gone over a little bit. If it's easier, which it always is with me, go in. So let's see, we've got to come over one more. That's it, it's crossed over now. Now anywhere else, the S, we've got to come over a little bit. I think that should do it. That means the S there. Okay, so I should have done that first. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And we'll bring the W again. Okay, so then we grab it all and weld again. And there you have it. So, let's see, this has got to come over. The dot really needs to be clinging onto something. If there's nothing there, I just bring it down so it's on top of the eye, like that. This will move back a little bit. There we go, and then it's just the C. There. Again, select it all, weld, and then if we come out, we need to fit it on there. So actually, if we put it above each other, you don't necessarily have to weld it if you are writing it or foiling it. It's only easier to weld if you're cutting it out. So I've grouped them together because I want to make sure that they're centered. There. And then we'll keep them grouped together to downsize it. There we go. I think that's about right. I'm going to bring wishes down a little bit. And Christmas up a little bit. There we go. And then it's up to you if you want to add like a snowflake or something like that. I don't want to. We've got quite a lot of detail on there. So, that is your sentiments. I'm going to group. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. If you're cutting out on Scan and Cut and you want to draw something, you have to change it on canvas. So the words, I do want to draw them out. So I'm going to change it now. If you wait until you're over on the Scan and Cut, it won't let you do it. It will just cut it all out. Now I'm going to group it. And then I'm going to get all three of them and center a line with both. Just so that, there we go. We've got it all together. So I'm going to move that up there. And that's all your pieces. I have got extra pieces. Actually, I'm going to show you quickly how to do a quick one. So I thought a couple of Christmas trees on the outside might look nice. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to make an easy Christmas tree. So we want this quite small, and then layer, duplicate. And this has to be a little bit bigger. And I think a little bit wider will help as well. Okay, and then layer, duplicate. I always do 4 layers when I'm doing this simple tree. It just seems to work a bit better. So last one. I think 5's too many. You might not agree. You might want to do more. So just pull it out a bit wider and a bit bigger each time. Collect them all and center them. Make sure they're centered. And let's see what that looks like if I weld that. There we go. Just a very, very simple Christmas tree. And then if we layer, duplicate, and we do one next to it that's a little bit smaller. Like that. And they can go on the front as decoration. You can put pearl drops and things, but that's it. If you want to cut all that out. And next time I will see you at the craft table and I'll show you how to put it all together and decorate it up. Thank you.